can cast out devils, and that is instant. But you see, you cast down strongholds because it took time and convincing to build. Satan will bring theories. Then you will accept his theories. Then he puts a block there. He will bring postulations. Then you accept his postulations. Then he puts another block there. Then he will bring hypothesis. Then you accept his hypothesis. Then he puts another block there. He will also bring philosophies, and you accept his philosophies. He puts another block there. Before you know it, that's how you think. That's your vista. That's your window. That's your outlet through which you view the world. The walls that Satan has built in your space. And it doesn't matter how much favor, how much blessing God causes to collocate around you, your life will be regulated by these strange, invincible walls that Satan has built in your mind. We will need to explore them so that we can attack them. So I made a list of a few strongholds that we will need to deal with, and the extent to which we are bound by these strongholds is relative. The first is fear. Fear is yielding to the reality of the possibility of danger instead of trusting God. Yielding to the reality of the possibility of danger instead of trusting in God. Fear is a spirit. The moment the spirit of fear begins to advance its course in the mind of a man, he begins to accommodate the possibility of danger. That's what fear does. And I've seen so many people that have been bound by fear. Someone got admission, got scholarship, 100% scholarship to go study in the United States of America. He's an excellent student, and he got this scholarship to go study in the United States. Then a strange fear came upon him. The fear could not be understood. The fear could not be explained. And on the account of that fear, he forfeited that admission. And after the whole process of the admission had shut down and closed, the fear left him. And he has been telling the tale of his regret ever since. The second identifiable, very common stronghold that has taken over so many people and is a result for disfavor is anger. A strong emotion that you feel when someone has behaved in an unfair, cruel, or unacceptable way towards you. It's a response using the tools of the flesh. The other day, we saw a young man that was angry at the world, not because anything happened to him. He wakes up in the morning angry. Not because there was anyone that behaved in an unfair manner, not because there was anyone that behaved in a cruel manner. And when we were trying to help the young man, we were able to, during the counseling session, we were able to connect him to the fact that that was how angry his father was. And what he was experiencing was an inheritance, a transfer of a stronghold. There was a demon that was regulating him using the stronghold of anger. And it doesn't matter where he is, very intelligent. He can be in the midst of an interview. He's looking for a job. And then he gets angry right before the panel. The panel knows that this guy has the intellectual property that is needed to prosecute the job that is being advertised. But because of this anger, he falls out of favor again and again and again. And you know, an angry person will always look outside, that what is wrong is outside. These are deceiving parameters that the devil puts in place in order to keep us perpetually bound. I've seen parents that have transmitted the spirit of depression to their children because of an unbridled dimension of the spirit of anger. Then we also have depression. Depression is another stronghold, allowing the act of abandonment to instill a feeling of worthlessness. Maybe in your family you were abandoned, you had genuine cases, genuine troubles, and the people that were supposed to help you, that had the means to help you, that had the capacity to help you, decided to relegate you to the background And in the midst of that shadow, a spirit of depression was able to manipulate itself and find a place in your mind. So you have been living under the influence of that spirit, and your estimation of yourself, no matter how advantaged you are, is that you are worthless. And I've met many people like that. Very intelligent people, sharp people, gifted people, but performance zero, because the people have come to a point where they believe there is no need to strive further because of a sense, an utter sense of hopelessness that has besieged their mind. We also have another stronghold that is built around abuse. Anyone that is in this place that experienced any form of abuse whatsoever while you were growing up, something you could not share with your parents, but it affected your life. You had to keep it secret, even though you were not taught how to keep it secret. But it was shameful, so you felt it was not to be exposed. And Satan shows up under such circumstances, and he builds strongholds around the secrecy of the matter that you are trying to keep from coming into limelight. He builds a stronghold of resentment. There is an inner bitterness that has found its place in the human heart, which is occasioned by disadvantage, is occasioned by an abuse that took place at some point, and it was not properly handled. There was no pathway for ventilation, and it became a stronghold of resentment. There is nothing you do to that person or about that person that excites the person. The person has gone beyond the possibility of excitement because there's an ingrained inner resentment that sits deeply on the person's heart. And even though you cast out the spirit, the fact that the structures of resentment have already been built as an everlasting stronghold in the person's mind, in the absence of the physical personality called the demon, the control and the influence of that demon is still rooted in that structure of resentment that is built in the mind. Another one is called self-hatred. I've seen a lot of this in Britain. I've seen a lot of it in Brazil. Self-hatred. How did the devil build this edifice? Some people in Britain, some people in Brazil, when you engage them, why are they not coming to church? Some of them are even from Christian backgrounds, and they can relate with your invitation that you're extending for them to come to church. But the person sees himself in such a manner that he's not deserving of any form of improvement whatsoever. My God, you are not deserving of any form of improvement. And then there is a very strong argument. You begin to see the psychology and the philosophy behind the stronghold that Satan has built to contain them. The list is not exhaustive whatsoever, but it's just an attempt to make you understand the kind of strongholds that the devil builds. And it gives you so many reasons why it is legitimate for you to think from that standpoint. That thinking becomes your pattern, it becomes your eye view, it becomes the way you see the world, and there's little you can do as long as you are contained therein.